surprising, but it was certainly eye-opening to hear so many people, even people of color and women, saying that they are going to support Donald Trump. I'm not quite sure that the polls are accurate as it relates to the tightening of the polls and who's going to support whom. And, right-wing media, when I released my content, they said, oh, Don Lemon was shocked or Don Lemon was surprised at the answers that he got. But there were a lot of black men, Jen, who said that they were supporting Donald Trump simply because he gave them a stimulus check. He gave them $1,200 back when he was president. They did not somehow remember that the current president also gave them a stimulus check, except that his name wasn't on it. So I had to remind them time after time that the check did not come from Donald Trump, that it came from a Democratic Congress, and he actually slowed it up in order to have his name on the check. So when they got the check and his name was on it, they automatically thought that it came directly from Donald Trump, which I think is good marketing. It's the same as he does for buildings around the country, especially in New York. He doesn't actually own them, but he puts his name on them, and it makes people think that he owns them, and it actually makes them think that he is richer and bigger and more benevolent.
Wow, 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 wow. Don Lemon Lemonade. Right? Basically, is he stumping for Trump? What's going on with Don Lemon? He's saying that the right-wing media, of which there's maybe you could count them on your fingers. They were basically saying that when Don Lemon posted his stuff to his media empire, was basically saying that he was shocked and surprised by all the Trump voters out there? Listen, I have a feeling that Don Lemon was surprised. No, that's not right-wing media or right-wing talk radio or right-wing internet trolls. No. I think he really was shocked, especially when he was walking on the boardwalk in New Jersey, which is supposed to be deep blue, Democratic constituency. And take a look at Jen Psaki's face here. Look at her face, folks. She doesn't like the fact that black men are gravitating towards Donald Trump. In fact, just to give you an idea of why Jen Psaki looks like she's about to shit bricks, let's take a look and see what Don Lemon uncovered when he was taking that stroll on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. Let's go to cut 15 right now.
New Jersey, Atlantic City. Who do you support?
Trump.
I plead the fifth.
Trump for the win.
Tell me why.
I can't really call that right now, but I just feel like she's not good for president. She's good vice, but not for the actual lead role for the country.
Does it have anything to do with being a woman?
No. Mm-mm.
Look at him taking a look over at Don Lemon. He said, does it have anything to do with being a woman? Does it have anything? I mean, these are the questions that these people ask all the time, right? Does it have anything to do with that you're brown? Anything to do with that the person's black? Anything to do with the person's gay? Anything the person's transgender? I mean, these are the questions they keep asking everybody. Instead of letting the people speak, no, they interject with their comments, try to correct them with the proper line of thought, with the proper train of thought, right? Amazing, folks, amazing.
No, because I feel like women, nah, you're not going to give me that.
The money's on Harris.
Yeah,
Who do you want?
Trump.
Why don't you like Harris?
She doesn't have any experience.
She's
She
the
was
vice
with
president.
Biden.
She's a senator.
Yeah, no experience. No.
See, there we go again. She's a vice president, she's a senator, right? Stumping for the person.
She had no experience.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I just feel we need somebody that has a stronger background with the military and the world in general.
She was a prosecutor and an attorney general and a senator and a vice.
She's a prosecutor and a vice president and an attorney general and a senator, and she's a woman and she's black. Well, she's not really black, but she is Jamaican and she is Indian and she's this and she's that. Corrections, corrections, corrections.
President. You're in a gambling town. Who's your money on?
I'm gonna support the Democratic Party, but I mean, Trump looked like he got it in the bag right now.
4 years ago, it was a lot better. I made a lot more money than I do now.
I know you feel that way, but that's not actually what the record shows. The economy is actually
Oh, I didn't think he actually went there, folks. He actually went there. Oh, let's take this back. Hear what this guy has to say. Let's go back to see what this guy has to say again.
He got it in the bag right now.
4 years ago, it was a
Listen.
lot better. I made a lot more money than I do now.
I know you feel that way, but that's not actually what the record shows. The economy
I know you feel that way, all right? But you don't know what the freak you're talking about, okay? Because the economy is showing that it's so much better. And just because you're feeling it doesn't mean it's true for you. Because everybody else is feeling better except for you. You're an idiot. You're a moron. You have no idea what's going on. Your feelings, your anecdotal, evidence, whatever was happening personally to you means zip, zero, zilch, nada. Because why? The economy. Let's listen to Don Lemon explain it.
is actually better under Biden. No, I'm serious. That's what the facts show.
Okay, you know what?
No, it's not because I watch CNN. Trump or him. Trump.
Did you hear what he just said, folks? Go back to this. Hear what he just said? Let's take a quick look back and see what happens here. Okay? Listen.
That's what the facts show.
Okay, you know what?
No, it's not because I watch CNN. Trump or Harris.
No. It's not because I watched it. Those guys had no clue who he was. Do you watch CNN? No, it's not because I watch CNN. Oh my God, classic.
Trump.
That's who's going to win.
That's who's going to win.
Who you support?
I support Trump. All the people that came to this country legally, it's not fair that they're letting
Don
all
Lemon's
10,000
triggered
to
here, folks.
15,000 people or 20,000 people here illegally. Have you seen San Diego? They're coming off the boats, off the water right here, off the ocean. Did you know Biden was flying them in? Did you?
Look at him. He's laughing at him because he thinks this guy's completely delusional. And it's absolutely true because they were flying him in. They were flying him in from, well, I don't know about that. Maybe they were. But I do know that once it got onto dry land of the United States of America on the southern border, oh yeah, the Biden administration, they were bussing him in. They were carpooling him in. They were flying him into cities at night, in the middle of the night. They didn't even let anybody know. They didn't let the council members know. They didn't let the mayor of the towns know. They didn't let, anybody who was anybody in charge of the city or the township or municipality. No, they just got him into the airports. I mean, this was going on in New York, folks. White Plains, New York, in the airport. It's unbelievable. Anyways, let's get back to more of Jen Psaki and Don Lemon as they sort of discuss all this stuff that's going on. We're going to get to that right now.
And more benevolent than he is.
Was there anything, what did they think about Harris? Did they have anything to say about her?
They did have, listen, it depends on where you are. We went to a number of different battleground states in Pennsylvania, Ohio, we were in Michigan, Indiana, on our way, obviously, Illinois, on our way to Chicago. And it sort of depended on where you were. Pennsylvania, well, I shouldn't say Pennsylvania, I should say Philadelphia, was a bit more liberal, and the answers to the questions about her and him were quite different. But for the most part, in Pittsburgh or at the Jersey Shore.
Now, one thing I noticed here, folks, he's just saying that the answers were different, but he didn't give a glowing review as to what was happening on the streets of Philadelphia, of Pittsburgh, of some of these enclaves that are supposedly or are deep blue counties and should be voting Democratic according to these two. Right? He's not really talking about it, not really giving a glowing, recommendation in terms of, support for Kamala.
In Atlantic City, in Ohio especially, many people did not know who she was, right? They weren't familiar with her, so I think she has to reintroduce herself to the public. But for him,
That's got to say something, folks. That's got to say something. You don't know who the vice president is? What they call, low information voters? I'm willing to. There are. Remember they do the Man Street interviews? All these different people do it. They actually show a picture of the president of the United States. I think they did with George Bush out in California and other places. Can't figure out who that person is, or they ask students or people, passerbys, or just whatever, people on the street, show a picture of the president. Nobody knows. Then they show a picture of some, rock star or movie star or something else, and all of a sudden people know who that is. Incredible, folks. Incredible.
I think that they thought that he's better for the economy. And that, again, that he brought money into the community, or that he was on black people's side. And so, listen, I wasn't surprised by that. I've been doing this long enough to know that you never know where people are going to fall, how they're going to vote. That's their own personal prerogative. But I think it's important for them to understand and to go into the voting booth with some knowledge that they're.
Oh, okay. Let them go in the voter booth with some knowledge. See how stupid, idiotically. This is what I'm starting to simmer. Right, folks? You know what that is. That's Dr. Shake's acronym, SIMMER, SIMR. Use it on some occasions. Stupid, idiotic, moronic, retarded. I mean, come on, folks. He just basically said that he's going into various towns, and there were people, a few, maybe a little more than a lot, I don't know, but he just said there were people that don't know who Kamala Harris is, and she's got to reintroduce herself, to reinvent herself for these people. And yet, who's he talking to? He's talking to MAGA. He's talking to the right, because he's saying these are low information voters. No, they're not. You don't have any low information voters on the right. What? Maybe a percent, maybe. You've got over 100%. And yes, I said over 100%, folks. 200% of the voters on the left that you would say are low information voters don't know a damn thing. You think Don Lemon is chastising them? That they're low information voters? They could care less as long as they pull the lever for Kamala and the Democrats. They don't care if they're, idiots, stupid, morons, or retards. They don't care. They don't care if they're simmering. But he's up here on his high horse saying, I want to inform everybody so that before they go into the voting booth, they have some informazione.
Informed as an electorate, and for all the reasons that they were telling me, the information was all false, and they didn't understand the correct reasons why they might vote for him.
Yeah, it's a reminder. I mean, you've called Donald Trump a racist on television. You're talking to all these people out there. You still feel that way?
Yes, I think I was the first person to finally say it, and I think I was the first person to say that he was lying because people were afraid to say it. And I said, why don't we just call it what it is? Why don't we call it a lie? Why don't we call it racism? And I wasn't just saying it because it was an opinion. Anytime I said something like that on television, I backed it up with facts, and I gave people examples of the reason.
You backed it up with facts. I'll just call you a black racist. How's that? You're a black man. You're a freaking racist. And you, Jen Psaki, with your socialist, Marxist, communist views, I think I'll throw the racist word out too. How's that? To you, both of you. You're both racist. You're both bigoted. How's that? Touché.
that I was saying those things. Of course, I think he's racist. All you have to do is look at his rhetoric. All you have to do is look at his track record, and anyone can see that.
Anyone can see that.
Keep going. Keep going.
Keep going. Keep
Anyone
going.
can see that, and so I don't think that was odd or something that was bold. So I do think that he's racist. Is it surprising to me that so many African Americans are supporting him? A bit.
A bit.
I also think that people tend to romanticize the past. And even though by most metrics, the economy is doing better and it's on fire, what people do is they vote with prices. They vote with.
That is such a blatant freaking lie. Again, the economy is doing great. It's doing better than it was during the Trump years. This is the information that Don Lemon Lemonade wants to get out there. This black racist. This is the garbage. This is the bullshit that he's peddling. You just don't need a shovel to shovel this BS out. You need to have truckloads with shovels, huge containers to shovel the BS that is coming out of the verbal diarrhea that is coming out here and being egged on by Jen, red-haired, socialist, Marxist, Psaki.
With their wallet. So maybe the economy is better. Both can be true. The economy can be better, but prices are higher and people have less money and they have less resources to put towards those high prices and to feed their families.
Unbelievable.
So, we talk a lot about low information voters. I like to call them low partisan information voters because many of the people I spoke to were not sitting in front of a television every single day and every single night, following every micro breaking news development about Donald Trump and about what's happening in politics. But they were quite aware of what they were doing for their families.
You talk about low propensity. Oh, partisan. I don't want to call them low information. Let's call them, low partisan voters. Which ones? The Democrats? The conservatives, the Republicans? Of course you're talking about the conservative. Of course you're talking about the Republicans. Of course you're talking about anybody that's going to vote for Donald Trump. Those are the partisan voters. Those are the low information. They're not sitting in front of their televisions all day. They're not watching you, Don Lemonade. No. You know what they're doing out there? They're hardworking, everyday Americans. Average, ordinary citizens trying to make ends meet, trying to put food on the dinner table, trying to get their kids off to school in the morning, trying to work 2, 3, 4 jobs, maybe a 2, 3, 4 income family, trying to pay their mortgage, trying to pay their rent bill, trying to pay their electrical bill, water bill, grocery bill, trying to pay for their prescriptions. That's all they're trying to do. And yet you come on here and say that two things can be correct at the same time. That the economy is doing great, but prices are high, but they don't have enough money to make ends meet. This is what you guys do all the time on the left. Two things can be correct. Oh, what do you mean by that? Well, the truth can be correct and the lie can be correct, right? Both things can be correct at the same time. That's according to you folks. And that's what you'll say. Of course, you'll say that the lies aren't true when they're coming from us. But the truth is, when it's coming from you, from your point of view, but of course, both things can be the same, or all three things at the same time can be the same. Amazing, folks. I'm just talking out of both sides, right? Through their mouth, through their ass. What else can we say? We appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Shake Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow. You all know what to do. Take a look at our video links above and below. My final thought is always, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.